Well, how's it going today, folks? As you can see, the V6 is all done and back in. We got water hooked up, fuel, and even got an air cleaner on it. And I've been driving it around, just kind of breaking the new bearings in and all that. Still got bugs to work out. Still fiddling with the clutch a little bit, playing with the adjustment. Doing some more wire looming back there as I'm having either ignition problems or my fuel pump's going out. I got an old electric fuel pump that I bought from Napa probably 5 or 6 years ago now. It used to be on the 66 before I took it apart with the 292 and pulled the old fuel pump off, and then it sat for a year, and then I put it in this. So I don't know, I think what it is just losing too much pressure when it gets hot and it's not satisfying the carburetor under load. Because when you're driving and you're cruising around and then you get up to 55, it starts to kind of bog and sputter, and then it clears up, and then bogs and sputters and clears up. And then if you let off the gas and go back down to around 2,000 RPM, it seems to be okay. Excuse me. And then if you were to pull over on the side of the road, let it idle for a minute, and then take off again, it would be fine for a short distance, and then it would start doing it again. Because yesterday night it was probably around, I don't know, maybe 80 degrees, so not very hot, and the motor was running cool like it always does. Probably not even above 170. And getting towards the end of my drive, and it started acting up, kind of a spit and sputter, and then I came to the stoplight, stopped, idled fine, no problem, took off, no problem, and the rest of the way back home, had no issues. And then I got onto the road here, and probably about a mile back, and just hammered on it, and that's when it started acting up again. And then got home, came in, let it idle for a second, and then I could sit and rev it, and it was fine. So I don't think it's ignition. It's hard to tell. Like I said, I do have that MSD wired to the Patronics. I'm not sure if that Patronics can handle that much power, because that coil is really putting out some hot voltage right now, and it just might be too much for it. So it could be that the little Patronics unit is getting too hot and then it's not signaling properly. I don't know. I know it's not the MSD box, because the MSD box stays relatively cool the entire time, as it is, a good distance away, and then it does have air blowing on it. So I don't know. I'm gonna do some wire looming. I think it is the fuel pump, because you can grab a hold of the filter, and then the fuel's just really dancing like nuts back in there. So it's almost like it's boiling, but it's not boiling, because you can grab a hold of the filter and it's not too hot to touch. Even after a drive, I can just sit and hold it, and it's probably maybe 90 degrees. You want your fuel to be cool, I understand that, but the fuel's boiling point should be a little bit higher than that, I would think. I don't know. I'm no fuel expert. So, first thing I'm going to try is a new pump, because that's just a cheap $45 Napa pump. I'm going to go with a Carter. That's what's on the 77 Chevy, and it's been on there for years with no problems. So I'm going to go with 100 gallon per hour, and it'll be 4.5 to 8 psi, which is perfect. These carbs don't like more than about 5, but as old as this carburetor is, I don't think it's going to hurt it anymore, and I can get a regulator if I absolutely have to, but I've been running this carburetor without a regulator since day one and never had a problem. So, and I think I might be taking this box off, because this is a daily driver, and the more I got to thinking about it, the more I'm like, I prefer not to have too much spark, because I want that HEI or that Patronics to last as long as possible without any problems, and I think that just might be a little too much for it. We'll see if the new pump fixes the problem. If it does, I might run that box for a little while longer. maybe through the winter while it's cold out, and I won't be going very far with it. I'll just be going to work and back. Good old GMC, and then maybe next year I'll take the box off, since I'm going to be going to shows and traveling further with it. That's the plan anyway. So that way that Petronics isn't getting so much power shoved through it, because like I said, they never mentioned in the directions anywhere that it was going to work with the Petronics, but I made it work, and it seems to be okay. The thing is, I don't see how it's going to hurt it, because that box is wired directly to the coil, and if anything, it would just fry the coil in my opinion, but that's already a 45,000 volt coil as it is, so it's already a hot coil, and that box only works off 9 to 12 volts anyway, but I'm no electrician either, so I don't know. But anyway, so the V6 is back in, looking really good. I really like the green. I think it matches this truck very well. And so far so good. She hasn't gotten too hot. I did back the timing down. It's at 8 degrees. I think I might even back it down a few degrees more. These were made to run at about 4 to 6, so I might put it at 6 degrees. I don't know. 8 doesn't seem to be too much. I am running 89 octane in it, which is plenty because this only has 7.5 to 1 compression anyway. So if it was 9.5, I'd run 92, but these are made to run off corn oil pretty much anyway, so, and hasn't smoked a lick. That was one thing we were worried about after we got everything clean, was that the engine would finally be able to breathe a little bit, and that it would probably start smoking and refilling all the open ports now. But so far so good. It's definitely been warming up a little bit faster than it used to. It needs to even be a bit smoother, because there was some rust buildup in the water jackets, and I did flush those out as best I could. And we did get all the carbon, as you guys remember in the last video. You get all the carbon scraped off the pistons and the combustion chambers. If this motor ever does come out again, it's probably not going to go back in as the same engine. I'm probably going to go bigger, like at minimum a 351 Magnum. I'm really going to go for some displacement. If I put another V6 in, I'm going to try and go for like a 401 or 478 and then I might rebuild this one and just save it, because getting parts for these, especially a bigger V6, is really hard. And it's getting to the point where you almost can't get anything anymore unless you go fully NOS, and NOS pops up once in a while. So anyway, but she's running good. I think she'll last a while. I'm running a straight 40 in it, Napa straight 40 with a quart of Lucas engine oil stabilizer. That stuff works like a charm. I swear by it. If you got an older motor, run some Lucas through it. It's better than any oil additive you can actually add, in my opinion, because this stuff's nice and thick, and it keeps the oil up at the top end of the motor, and you can really feel it in the bearings. So anyway, that's the update, guys. I don't know if you're even watching anymore, but if you are, hope you're having a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later. See ya.